And an opposition figure, Kizza Besigye, appears in a military court in Uganda days after he was reported missing during a book launch in Kenya. His wife fears he will not get justice in the military court. And in Cape Town, it's a baboon fiesta. Hundreds of Chakma baboons roam Cape Town's seaside village of Simonstown, creating a nuisance. That's this week on Wild of Africa, at these times on WION. Wild is one.
Thanksgiving is the easiest meal to make.
The Thanksgiving weekend puts everyone in a holiday mood, and we get you a list of movies to binge watch.
Hi, this is Jessel Tank, and you're watching me on WION.
Meet Jessel Tank, the real housewife of New York City, and know all about Hollywood stars and their journey to sobriety. All this and much more with me, Isha Hanspal, at these times only on WION E-Club.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Race to Power with me, Ananya Datta. Let's start talking politics. Kamala Harris ran a 107-day campaign. She took the baton from the incumbent president, did not distance herself away from him, and ran against an unconventional politician like Donald Trump. Since losing the election for the first time, she has come out with a message. Stay tuned to know what. Over in Pakistan, the capital city is back to normalcy. The Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf protest has ended, even though its leaders seem in denial. We tell you what's happening on the ground and what happens next. We're reversing the clock tonight. It turns out Democrats were disappointed with Kamala Harris's defeat in the election, but not surprised. Almost all polls before Election Day pointed to a neck-and-neck race. It was touted to be a race that stayed within the margin of error. Instead, Donald Trump won all 7 swing states and the popular vote. He managed to expand his support from 2020 across nearly every voting bloc. The Republicans saw a trifecta win. Both chambers of Congress, House and the Senate are in red currently. So how did the calculation go so horribly wrong? Well, the Vice President spoke to her entire campaign team on the eve of Thanksgiving and said this.
The outcome of this election obviously is not what we wanted. It is not what we worked so hard for. But I am proud of the race we ran. And your role in this was critical.
Harris struck an optimistic tone in the end, spoke about hope and the future. Speaking of the future, we are still analyzing what Harris's defeat means for the Democrats. The Harris Walz campaign officials sat down for the podcast Pod Save America, and they broke down the 107 days of the campaign and reflected on the election, which they referred to as completely unprecedented. Starting from entering the race late to taking the baton from a president who had one of the lowest approval ratings in history, to not able to distance away from Joe Biden, to making unforced errors of herself, to running against an unconventional politician like Donald Trump. Looking forward, Harris has told advisors that she is quote-unquote staying in the fight. Now, what that exactly means for her as well as the party is something we will have to wait and watch. Let's talk about the Red Camp now. Several members of Donald Trump's incoming administration have received threats, including bomb alerts. One nominee even reported a pipe bomb scare sent with a pro-Palestinian message. The FBI has said that it was aware of numerous bomb threats and swatting incidents. Now, swatting refers to a practice in which police are summoned urgently to someone's house under false pretenses. Such hoax calls are common in the United States and have seen numerous senior political figures targeted in recent years. A spokesperson for Trump's transition team, Caroline Levitt, has said that the threats were made on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, and law enforcement acted quickly to ensure the safety of those targeted. Elise Stefanik, Trump's pick to serve as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, said that in a statement, her family home had been a target of a bomb threat. Lee Zeldin, Trump's choice to head the Environmental Protection Agency, also said he and his family had been targeted. Trump's former choice to be U.S. Attorney General Matt Gaetz was also among those who had received the threats. Donald Trump Jr., son of the U.S. President-elect, blamed the violent left for the threats. He said that the violent left has been calling in bomb threats and swatting incoming members of the Trump administration. Now, the White House said that outgoing President Joe Biden has been briefed on the matter. Let's just focus now. No good news for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the public popularity front. The ceasefire in Lebanon has got some mixed views from the Israeli people. A poll released by Israel's Channel 12 News shows Netanyahu's bloc failing to secure a majority of the Knesset seats if elections were to be held today. The only silver lining for Bibi is his Likud party will remain the biggest party with 25 projected seats. The poll shows that the ruling coalition will fall short of reaching even the halfway mark of 60 parties backing the current government are expected to secure 51 seats, while opposition parties will hold 69 and 120 members Israeli parliament. According to this poll, a loss of 7 seats is expected for Netanyahu's Likud party, even though it retains the status as the biggest party with 25 projected seats. A day after the Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire took effect, there are signs of people returning to their homes in northern Israel, but the response to the ceasefire among most locals remains mixed at best. What they call a missed opportunity. Questions are being raised on gains achieved by the killing and devastation of the last year. For most, only a solution to the Hamas conflict will make any real difference, that's in Gaza. The survey conducted by Midgam Consulting also gauged views on the Lebanon ceasefire. 37% respondents back it, 32% oppose it, and 31% say that they are still undecided.
Feeling of a missed opportunity, that there's nothing more urgent that needs to be solved, and the fact that the international community has been pushing and is behind the deal with Lebanon and Hezbollah, we could have coupled that with the Gaza deal as the parameters of the deal in the north, which are ceasefire, end of aggression, are the same requirements that is needed in the south. So we don't understand why that we have been compromised.
For years, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has resisted pressure to appoint a successor or a vice president. But now the head of the Palestinian Authority has announced who would replace him in an interim period when the post becomes vacant. The 89-year-old still rules despite his term as head of the Palestinian Authority ended in the year 2009. In a decree, Abbas said that the Palestinian National Council chairperson, Ravi Fatou, would be his temporary replacement should the position become vacant. Now, the decree added that following the transition period, elections must be held within 90 days. However, this deadline can be extended on the event of emergency situations. The decree effectively removes Hamas from any involvement in a future transition. The PNC is the parliament of the Palestine Liberation Organization, which is commonly known as PLO. Now, that has over 700 members from the Palestinian territories and abroad. Hamas, which does not belong to the PLO, has no representation on the council. Under current Palestinian law, the Speaker of the Palestinian Legislative Council, PLC, takes over the Palestinian Authority in the event of a power vacuum. But the PLC, where Hamas had a majority, no longer exists, since Abbas officially dissolved it in the year 2018. After more than a decade of tensions between his Fatah party and Hamas, Hamas had ousted the Palestinian Authority from power in the Gaza Strip in 2007. The decree comes on the same day as a ceasefire entered into force in Lebanon after an agreement between Israel and Hamas's ally, Hezbollah. The Palestinian Authority appears weaker than ever, unable to pay its civil servants. Its rule has been threatened by Israeli far-right ministers' calls to annex all or part of the occupied West Bank. Let's now go across to Pakistan. The strongest protest to date by Imran Khan's party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, has been cleaned up, and the protesters have gone home. There's no official word on how things fizzled out so suddenly, but the rumblings continue and will for some time. Most prominently, a rattled Shehbaz Sharif government will be keen to ensure Khan's wings are clipped enough for there to be a repeat of what happened in the last few days. In the immediate aftermath, Islamabad police has registered 8 cases against the party's leaders and workers, including its founder, who sits behind bars, Imran Khan. The FIRs also name Bushra Bibi, that's Imran Khan's wife, and the PTI central leadership, including Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Ali Amin Gandapur. They are charged with terrorism, assault on police, abduction, interference in government operations, and more. Pakistan's Interior Minister also said that about 954 people were arrested, of which 37 were Afghan nationals. Now, Afghan nationals will not be allowed to stay in Islamabad after December 31st, according to a latest directive. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says he wants a more permanent solution. He has urged the need for tough decisions to end the culture of what he calls disruptive protests to ensure national stability. He talked about choosing between stability and agitation. Sharif pointed out that the Pakistan Stock Exchange plunged over 4,000 points due to the riots. The economy lost 190 billion Pak rupees a day due to the protests, and that's nearly $685 million a day. Khan's party has held dozens of anti-government protests since he was ousted from power. Every time there's been a common thread of street violence, the march to Islamabad, and dramatic clashes with the police. First, it was about the cases against Imran Khan himself, then over Khan's arrest and demands that he should be freed, on his charge that the election was rigged and stolen, and also the recent constitutional amendment over clipping the wings of the judiciary. Despite what looks like an embarrassing end to the latest protests, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf insists its fight is not over. Shehbaz Sharif and his government will be out to ensure that the wings stay clipped. Now to get us the latest, our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik is joining us live on this broadcast. Anas, good to see you. Quite a few busy days for you as well as the people of Pakistan. What's the latest you're hearing?
Well, the latest is that there is an internal rift within the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. This comes at the time when A, the party is divided, and B, the party has seen a lot of arrests. Over 900 Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf workers have been arrested. There's a huge controversy ongoing in the country right now with regards to those who have been killed. The government maintains that people have not been shot at. That's a claim that is quite contradictory, because we have been reporting since the past 2 days, since the past 3 days, and on the day itself, on the 26th, there was gunfire. Unsure whether it was rubber bullets or live ammunition. The government totally falsifies that claims, and with that, the PTI maintains that at least 10 of their workers have been killed. We have been independently been able to verify that at least 8 of their workers have indeed been killed, but with regards to the casualty figure, the government is being accused to hide the casualty figure, including those from doctors at the hospitals who have been treating. Reports have been emerging that they have been asked to keep quiet and not cooperate with those who have lost their loved ones in the case that to disclose that it was a death that was done in between these protests. Ananya.
All right, Anas, thank you so much for all those updates from Islamabad. The interim government in Bangladesh is looking to turn up the heat further on ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Now, Mohammad Yunus's administration is looking to charge Hasina with crimes against humanity in the International Criminal Court, also known as the ICC. According to a press wing officer, Yunus discussed the issue of Hasina's trial with ICC prosecutor Karim Khan. Yunus expressed Bangladesh's intention of pursuing charges against Hasina and her associates regarding the quote-unquote massacre during the July-August unrest and forced disappearances throughout her 15-year tenure in office. Now, this comes even as the Internal Crimes Tribunal of Bangladesh is in the process of numerous cases against Hasina and her cabinet, with several either imprisoned or evading capture domestically as well as internationally. Dhaka has also requested Interpol's assistance for her return from India. Hasina sought refuge in India on August 5th following widespread protests against her Awami League government's controversial job quota system. The party of erstwhile opposition leader Begum Khalida Zia has found a voice too, with Zia cleared of corruption and other charges against her. The Bangladesh Nationalist Party's acting chairperson Tariq Rahman lashed out at the Sheikh Hasina government, saying it created deep-running irregularities over the last 15 long years. He linked the violence and acts against minorities to what he called conspirators creating an anarchic situation and using a justified movement as a shield. Meanwhile, the ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said that the Hindu leader has been unjustly arrested and he must be released immediately. In a written statement attacking the Mohammad Yunus interim government, Hasina says that the current power grabbers are showing failure in all areas. She says she strongly condemns the direct and indirect torture inflicted on common people. This after the arrest of ISKCON priest Chinmay Krishna Das sparked protests in various locations, including the capital city of Dhaka and port city of Chittagong. The Hindu community has been calling for his release and justice for Hindus who faced persecution after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Let's now go across to neighbouring India, where a lot is happening. There's a new Gandhian in the Indian Parliament, the 6th member of Parliament from the clan, including her father, grandmother and great-grandfather. Priyanka Gandhi entered the Indian Parliament for the very first time as an elected member of the lower house. Her brother, Raebareli MP Rahul Gandhi, stopped to click a picture of a potentially historic moment. Priyanka Gandhi's resemblance to her grandmother Indira Gandhi has often been in focus and has even been a poll plank. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has been elected member of the parliament from Kerala's Wayanad in the recent by-polls, making her political debut from the constituency after Rahul Gandhi vacated the seat. There are now 3 Gandhis in the Indian parliament, with Priyanka's mother Sonia Gandhi a member of the upper house. Priyanka's debut as MP comes 20 years after she campaigned for her mother Sonia Gandhi in Raebareli itself and brother Rahul Gandhi in Amethi in the year 2004. Also, top leaders of the India bloc who were in attendance at the swearing-in of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha leader Hemant Soren as the Chief Minister. At Ranchi today, there was a distinct effort by leaders of the India bloc to put up a show of unity after the dropping in assembly polls in Maharashtra. Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi, Samajwadi Party Chief Akhilesh Yadav, West Bengal Chief Minister and Trinamool leader Mamta Banerjee, Aam Aadmi Party leader Arvind Kejriwal and Rashtriya Janata Dal's Tejasvi Yadav were all present during the event. Now, the alliance in Jharkhand won 56 seats in the 81-member House. Hemant Soren's Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, JMM, won 34 and the Congress won 16 seats. The Soren government's public welfare schemes and a sympathy wave after his arrest are credited with winning him a 5-year term as Jharkhand's Chief Minister. 4 days into what was a landslide victory for the BJP-led Mahayuti in Maharashtra, there's no word yet on who the Chief Minister will be. All three top alliance leaders from the state, Eknath Shinde, Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar, are in the capital for a meeting with senior BJP leader Amit Shah. Intense backroom discussions are reported to be underway towards choosing a leader who would keep vote banks intact. Speculations also continue on the formula for government formation, and BJP sources said a decision would be taken only after intervention of a BJP-appointed central observer. Let's focus now. French far-right leader Marine Le Pen will learn in March whether she will be declared ineligible for the elections. Now, a Paris court on Wednesday concluded trial on whether she embezzled funds from the European Parliament. The National Rally leader arrived in court on Wednesday for the high-stakes trial. The prosecutors have demanded a 2-year prison sentence and 5-year period of ineligibility to run for office. Le Pen and 25 National Rally Party officials stand accused of misappropriating funds meant for European Union parliamentary aids. The money was allegedly used to pay party staffers, instead thus violating the 27-nation bloc's regulations. And as per the prosecutors, the funds were embezzled during a 12-year period between 2004 and 2016. Le Pen and the others accused have denied any wrongdoing. Now, the International Criminal Court's Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan has requested an arrest warrant for Myanmar's military leader Min Aung Hlaing. The warrant has been sought over alleged crimes against humanity committed against Rohingya Muslims. Khan's request for the warrant follows an extensive investigation which concluded that he bore criminal responsibility for crimes against humanity, including deportation and persecution. These alleged crimes took place between August 25th and December 31st. The ICC prosecutor in 2019 opened a probe into suspected crimes committed against Rohingyas in Myanmar's restive Rakhine state in 2016 and 17.
My office has concluded that there are reasonable grounds to believe that Senior General and Acting President Min Aung Hlaing, Commander-in-Chief of the Myanmar Defence Services, bears criminal responsibility for the crimes against humanity of deportation and persecution of the Rohingya committed in Myanmar and in part of Bangladesh between the 25th of August 2017 and the 31st of December 2017.
In a video supplied by the International Criminal Court, Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan was seen visiting the Rohingya community at a camp in Bangladesh where he made the announcement.
For the first time in the situation of Myanmar.
Now, the news was welcomed by the refugees who are seeking justice. Myanmar's junta has reacted and rejected the prosecutor's move, citing the country's non-membership in the ICC. Around 1 million Rohingyas currently live in camps near the Bangladesh border city of Cox's Bazar. Many have accused the Myanmar military of mass killings and rapes, prompting a massive exodus of about 750,000 Rohingyas to neighbouring country of Bangladesh. Let's now take a look at what else is making headlines in the world of politics and elections. Namibians voted well into the morning in landmark parliamentary elections. Reports say many voters had to wait in long queues and blamed technical problems that included issues with voter identification tablets and insufficient ballot papers. The vote could usher in the African nation's first woman leader, even as her party, the ruling Southwest Africa People's Organization, SWAPO, faces the strongest challenge yet to its 34-year grip on power. In Mozambique, during the protests against October election results, a woman was run over by a military vehicle. Armed forces said in a statement that a properly marked military vehicle accidentally struck a woman, where demonstrators called by opposition leader Moldain rallied to dispute the election outcome. The military said it deeply regrets the incident. The candidate of the ruling Frelimo party garnered 71% of the vote, whereas Mondlane only received 20% and has rejected the results. Close to 2,000 people protested in Romania's capital of Bucharest after the surprise win of a far-right candidate in the first round of the country's presidential elections. Călin Georgescu secured an unexpected lead in the presidential elections on Sunday, knocking out Prime Minister Marcel Ciolacu, and demonstrators gathered at the Victory Square in Bucharest carrying European Union flags and banners. And with that, we're wrapping up this edition of Race to Power. Thanks for watching with me, Ananya Datta. Goodbye.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION. World is one.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yo1.com.
Will Namibia be the next country in Southern Africa to kick out a political party in power since independence? Namibians ponder over that dilemma as they gear up for the general elections. Ugandan opposition figure Kizza Besigye appears in a military court in Uganda days after he was reported missing during a book launch in Kenya. His wife fears he will not get justice in the military court. And in Cape Town, it's a baboon fiesta. Hundreds of Chakma baboons roam Cape Town's seaside village of Simon's Town, creating a nuisance. That's this week on Wild of Africa, at these times on WION. Wild is one.
Thanksgiving is the easiest meal to make.
The Thanksgiving weekend puts everyone in a holiday mood. and we get you a list of movies to binge watch.
Hi, this is Jessel Tank, and you're watching me on WION.
Meet Jessel Tank, the real housewife of New York City, and know all about Hollywood stars and their journey to sobriety. All this and much more with me, Isha Hanspal, at these times only on WION eClub.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
WION brings you a special business talk show where we bring forth the stories of business leaders.
From breakthrough technologies to visionary leadership, we will unlock the trends, the tactics, and dive into the minds of the industry's most influential leaders.
WION brings you this special series to uncover what drives them in a candid talk show, WION Business Masters.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Fine Print. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start this broadcast by taking a quick look at what is making headlines at this hour. Now, speaking in Kazakhstan, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that the Oreshnik missile is comparable to a nuclear weapon in terms of its destructive power and the world, and it would atomize everything at the point of its impact. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has called the US President-elect Donald Trump an intelligent person who is capable of solving problems, as tensions between the West and Moscow escalate ahead of the Republican taking office. The State of Israel has said that the United States will punish the International Criminal Court for having issued arrest warrants against the sitting Prime Minister Netanyahu and his former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. On Friday, Iran will hold talks with Britain, France and Germany on its nuclear program after the three governments joined with the United States to have Tehran censured by the United Nations atomic watchdog.